questions and answers. Aren't those who have kept the commandments of God and those honoring the Sabbath one and the same group? The spirit of prophecy expands on what is included when we talk of all the commandments of God. The laws which God has established in nature are as much the law of God as are the 10 Commandments. Hence, it is as much a sin to violate them as it is to violate the spiritual laws of God. To violate either is to break God's law. Here we see two separate laws, the laws of nature and the spiritual laws. The 10 Commandments comprise the spiritual laws of God, and this is the standard of those who perfected Christian characters in the midst of falsehood and infidelity, those who honored the law of God when the Christian world declared it void. These are those who are sealed by the third angel, represented by wheat and grapes. It should be made clear that I am not lowering the standard of those sealed by the third angel. You still have to complete all the spiritual laws of God, all of the 10 Commandments as standard. In addition to the spiritual laws, the 144,000 are required to complete the laws of nature in order to achieve a sinless state. This is only possible because Christ changes their physical bodies, restoring them back to what they originally should have been as he created Adam and Eve in a sinless state, by giving them his nature so that they can be like him, 100% divine, the way God originally created us in a sinless state. Question 2. Is there any more evidence of two groups within the Holy of Holies? In the summer and autumn of 1844, the proclamation, "Behold, the bridegroom cometh," was given. The two classes represented by the wise and foolish virgins were then developed. One class who looked with joy to the Lord's appearing and who had been diligently preparing to meet him. Another class that, influenced by fear and acting from impulse, had been satisfied with a theory of truth, but were destitute of the grace of God. In the parable, when the bridegroom came, they that were ready went in with him to the marriage. The coming of the bridegroom here brought to view takes place before the marriage. The marriage represents the reception by Christ of his kingdom. The holy city, the New Jerusalem, which is the capital and representative of the kingdom, is called the bride, the Lamb's wife. Said the angel to John, "Come hither, I will show thee the bride, the Lamb's wife." He carried me away in the spirit, saith the prophet, and showed me that great city, the holy Jerusalem, descending out of heaven from God. Clearly, then, the bride represents the holy city, and the virgins that go out to meet the bridegroom are a symbol of the church. In the Revelation, The people of God are said to be the guests at the marriage supper. If guests, they cannot be represented also as the bride. Christ, as stated by the prophet Daniel, will receive from the Ancient of Days in heaven dominion and glory and a kingdom. He will receive the New Jerusalem, the capital of his kingdom, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. So, chapter 24 of the Great Controversy. In the Holy of Holies, there is presented a picture of the marriage procession. The group entering with Jesus in 1844 is represented as guests to the marriage supper. We are clearly told if they are represented as guests, then they cannot be also represented as the bride. This is the same group being sealed by the third angel. Then we are told of the bride, the New Jerusalem. The 144,000 is the bride, having the name of New Jerusalem written in their foreheads. The 144,000 were all sealed and perfectly united. On their foreheads was written God, New Jerusalem, and a glorious star containing Jesus' new name. The 144,000 are the perfect, spotless, sinless bride of Christ. Still have questions? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe.